it is time. Hello everyone and welcome to video number 10. Wow! To be honest, I wasn't sure I would make it this far. You know, when I made this quite experimental and amateurish video about Doom's birthday on December 10th last year, I thought that maybe that would be all. You know, I'll just upload this and never bother recording again. But here we are, 9 complete videos and a 10th one on the way. And the topic is something we all enjoy. We're going back to looking at lesser known and forgotten map details. A video that, as far as I know, you guys enjoyed quite a lot, and I also enjoyed making it, even though the second part had to be redone several times because I messed things up once. Then I started the second time, and about halfway through I suddenly realized the microphone was switched off. But third time was the charm, and that was the successful take. And yeah, I often do things in one take, which is a pretty risky thing to do, but hey, the adrenaline helps, I suppose. So here we go again. Lesser known and obscure details about Doom maps. Of course, before we can start talking about maps, we should say a few words about one of the more important aspects of map design, which is textures. Some textures are actually pretty popular, so popular that they even appear in multiple games, like this example I'm showing you here. A texture that originated in Wolf 3D, but then was upscaled and retouched a little bit and was used in Doom 2, mostly in MAP26, the Abandoned Mines, and finally as a darker and grittier version in Quake. So that's definitely one of the more popular ones. However, there are some textures which are used very rarely. In fact, some of them can only be seen once in the official Doom levels. Now, I'm obviously not including custom mods because they can use all sorts of textures in all sorts of ways. So we'll limit ourselves strictly to the official levels. Oh, and by the way, for the first time, I'm starting up with Ultimate Doom. Yeah, in previous videos I always used older versions of Doom which had only 3 episodes, mostly 1.2 and 1.666. But today, it's a special occasion, episode number 10, so we're using the Ultimate Doom. And of course we have episode 4, Die Flesh Consumed, finally available. And we also have something else. If we go here, there's a secret new button. Gee, I wonder what it does. Yeah, that's the version where this button finally appears in the game. Anyway, I was talking about rare textures. The first one can be observed in E2M3. And it's so obscure that they even put it here in this box-like thing, which isn't even accessible to the player. Normally, you actually have to no-clip inside. And it's this thing, it's like a brown wall with some valves on it that seem to be keeping something sealed. I'm not sure, they kind of look like valves, it's hard to tell at this resolution. And I've never really seen a properly upscaled version of this texture, so I don't really know what this is. As far as I know, this is the only spot in the game where you can see this texture, so it's pretty rare indeed. Another rare specimen can be found in E2M6. Yeah, this red warning sign. If you've played the early alpha versions of Doom, you may have noticed that it had quite a big variety of such signs, mostly warning signs, prohibition signs, and so on. Over time, however, most of these textures were removed, and this is one of the last ones that survived to present day. and it's used very rarely. I think in Doom 1 that's probably the only place where you can see it. I might be forgetting something, but yeah, that's the most famous spot where you can observe this thing. And I'm not even sure what it means. Like, does it mean entry prohibited? Don't go inside? I'm not sure. And once you open this button, you'll never see it again because it stays open. Now, let's go to one of my favorite maps, which is E3M6. What's special about this map? Well, let's just say that it had a bit of a troubled childhood. What does it mean for a map to have a troubled childhood? I'll show you. But first let's take a quick look at the way the map looks nowadays. This is the ultimate Doom, therefore this is the final revision of this map. If you're playing Doom today, this is what it looks like. Ooh, here we see another famous and favorite texture. Fire blue. Oh, it's so lovely. So anyway, here we have this small building, some torches, some head on a stick decorations. Here we have these three stubs, some trees, an evil eye here. Also some more trees here. Yeah, I wonder what their scientific name would be, like Arboreus Infernalis? I don't know. And some of these weird burning things here as decorations. I don't know if they have an official name. In some of my old fanfictions I called them core fragments, like in the sense that they're pieces from the core of hell itself. Anyway, that's the way the map looks nowadays, but I said that it had a troubled childhood, and to learn about the childhood of a map, we have to go back to an older version. So more specifically, I'll be going to version 1.1, which was the first release of Doom with all 3 episodes, therefore the first release of Doom to include in E3M6. So let's take a look at it. Okay then, let's jump into Doom 1.1, which was released on December 16th, 1993. Just 6 days after the original Doom birthday. Nice. At first we'll start on Ultraviolence and go straight to E3M6. Well, everything looks the same so far. Here's that shotgun guy being annoying as usual. The fire blue is still very fiery and very blue. This still looks the same. Now one of the stubs or stumps, are they stubs or stumps? I think stumps actually. Anyway, one of them changed to a tree for some reason. Also some stuff seems to be missing. There was supposed to be more trees here and an evil eye here. And this little forest of Arboreus Infernalis is missing as well for some reason. And the burning decorations here. What's going on? Is someone stealing from the map? Let's see what happens on I'm Too Young to Die. I wonder if the missing stuff will show up. Let's take a look. Oh, it's actually the opposite. There's even more stuff missing now. The torches, the heads on sticks are missing. The 3 stumps are missing now, and the rocket that was behind them. Wow, a lot of stuff is missing now. And these guys sound angry, so I'll just hide in this little building here. Take care of the Spectre. But you know what? Doom guy wouldn't hide. He's not the kind of guy that runs away from battle. So just leave this building by using one of these teleporters. Hey, what the... Why aren't they working? Oh, guess what? It's not just decorations that are missing. Oh no, the teleport destinations are also missing. Well, technically, and you've probably guessed this already, none of the missing stuff is actually missing. All of these objects, you know, the trees, the decorations, the teleport destinations, are placed in the map. But the reason they don't appear is because the difficulty flags have not been set correctly. We actually observed a similar problem in Doom 2 Map 19. If you watched the previous video, you may remember one of the teleporters there did not work on the easy difficulty modes, because its teleport destination, for some reason, didn't have its easy mode difficulty flags checked, and so it didn't work. And this is what's happening on E3M6 as well. A lot of objects are only checked to appear on certain difficulties, and several are not checked to appear on any difficulty whatsoever, so regardless what you do, they never appear. And of course this problem was fixed in the later versions of this map, and nowadays everything appears without issues, regardless of what difficulty you're playing on. And that's why this map has a troubled childhood. And speaking of troubled childhoods, let's take a quick look at E1M6. Now, this is for those of you who haven't watched my original video from December 10th last year. When playing on Ultra Violence, it's impossible to get 100% kills on this map because one of the enemies is stuck inside a wall. Let me show you. So, you see this green thing? That's a shotgunner, and he's stuck in a wall. And there he is. He's alive and well, and preventing you from getting 100% kills. Here's an idea. You know, what if we trick this into playing this version of the map, but not tell him about the problem and watch him freak out while looking for that final missing kill. Anyway, the only way to get your 100% completion is to turn on no clip, get into the wall, and take care of this guy. Thankfully he was removed in patch 1.666, so we don't have to do this nowadays. Still, it is a bit of troubled childhood, more or less. Now, before we finish with Doom 1, there is one more thing I can show you about it, and it's in episode 4. Oh, that's actually the first episode 4 oddity I'm going to show you. And it was actually suggested by one of you, the viewers. More specifically, Brennan0914. He commented under the previous episode of lesser known and obscure details about maps and mentioned this thing in E4M2, a thing I didn't know about, or maybe I knew about it but forgot over the years. At any rate, he told me about it or reminded me of it, and now you're going to see it as well. So we go back to the Ultimate Doom, since that's the only way we can play episode 4, naturally. We go to E4M2. Now, let me just turn on the lights. One of the more annoying aspects of this map is the platforming here at the beginning, where you have to jump around these platforms and be careful not to take a swim in the lava below. Is there a way to make this thing easier? There actually is. There is a hidden unofficial secret behind this wall. It's an unofficial secret, which means that if you miss it, you'll still get 100% secrets, because it's not actually tagged as a secret. It's just a hidden little room with a button. And pressing the button will cause this floor here to rise, making navigation around this platform much easier, and it saves you some of the annoying platforming. Nice. Well, it's not a big thing, but hey, it's a convenience, so thank you, John Romero. And thank you, Brennan, for telling me about it. If you didn't know about it, well, now you do. And now, I think we're actually ready to take a look at Doom 2. Ooh, there will surely be some interesting stuff in there as well. Now, Doom 2 generally tends to have more unusual stuff in its maps because mostly, and that's my guess, they were in a bit of a hurry when making it. You know, Doom 1 came out in December 1993 and Doom 2 in September 1994, so id Software had to work really quickly to finish 32 levels and get the game out of the door. So rushing sometimes leads to little bugs or other oddities in maps. So let's start with... where should we start? Oh, I know. We'll start in Map 11. Yeah, it's a map famous for having two official names, the Circle of Death, but also O of Destruction, exclamation mark. I think it's the only map that has two names like this, and this is pretty close to the end. All I have to do is press the switch, so this lowers, and I get a convenient bridge that I can use to get in here and get some lost souls in the face. Yeah, nothing unfamiliar about this. I'm sure you've all played this map quite a few times. However, was it always like this? Was something different in these maps in older versions? Well, let's take a look. So here we are again, but this time this is an older version of Doom 2, more specifically 1.666. This was also the first original release of Doom 2, and also the buggiest, since it was the oldest. So once again we're in map 11, a familiar place. So again I have to press this button, go to the other platform and head to the level exit. So this lowers, I get the rocket launcher, then I get on the bridge. Wait, where's the bridge? Let me just take care of these guys, they're annoying. Wow, that's a lot of lost souls. Anyway, as you can clearly see, this small convenient bridge that takes you to the other platform is missing in this version. In fact, it was missing in the next versions as well. It wasn't introduced into the map until version 1.9, which was the last one. Let me just take care of these guys. There we go, much better. And since that little bridge was missing, the only way to get there was to perform a strafe jump, like this. And this was a nice way to teach players how to strafe jump, actually. Beside this little inconvenience here, this map had a slight bug in the older versions. More specifically, this little guy here was stuck in the wall. And this also wasn't fixed until version 1.9. Sorry, little guy, but it will take some time until they fix you. Ooh, and before we leave this map, you know this little secret here? This thing took me like more than 10 years to figure out. This little secret here with the fake wall. Yeah. Pretty annoying, I know. Now, before we leave this version of Doom 2, we can also take a look at map 18, a Sandy Peterson map, the courtyard. Overall, very nice map, I really like it, with this big outdoor area. However, it used to have a small flaw in it. And if you saw the post I made like a teaser for this video, you probably know what I'm talking about. Sandy forgot one of his walls. More specifically this one. It's like the whole wall is missing. Well, there is some wall. If you look here, there is an outer wall, but the inner one is missing. And if you use some IDDT and zoom in the map, you can clearly see the missing line here. The whole line def is missing. Nice job, Sandy. Nice job. Well, thankfully this was fixed in the next patch 1.7, but there is one other small flaw which was never fixed, not even in 1.9. This thing here, do you see it? A missing texture. It stays like this to present day. Hey, since we're here, we can also take a look at map 19. Ooh, I think I crashed. So anyway, yeah, the game crashed for some reason. That's map 19, and one unusual thing that has always fascinated me here was this thing here. So you have to press the button to raise this platform to help you reach that backpack over here. The curious thing though is that if you keep pressing the button, the platform will keep rising. It will never stop. There is no limit to how far it can go. Let's see what happens when it reaches the ceiling. Again and again. I think it reached the ceiling. So what will happen when I press the button? It just keeps pushing on. It like drills into the ceiling and keeps going upward. How far upward it can go? I don't know for sure. Maybe it can go forever, or maybe it will crash at some point. I don't know. The good news is that at this point you can still get the backpack if you do a nice strafing jump. Oh, by the way, while we're still here, see this? Missing texture, and I think it's still missing even in 1.9. It was never fixed. What a shame. And there we go. Now, you guys make too much noise. Now we'll go back to version 1.9 and check another problem with another Sandy Petersen map. I'll be back in a sec. So here we are back in 1.9 and we'll be going to map 21. Like I said, a Sandy Petersen map. And before showing you like one of the bugs in it, I will also mention there was a bit of a rumor or urban legend going on around the Doom community at a time. It was about this map, since it's called Nirvana and there is a shotgun here at the beginning. The rumor was that this was some sneaky reference to Kurt Cobain and his unfortunate demise. However, multiple id Software members have denied this, so it's just an unconfirmed rumor. And besides, I really can't imagine Sandy making such a nasty joke in one of his levels. What he did make, however, was a big hole in the ceiling. Now if you look straight ahead, maybe you can see this dark area. It's something like a hole in the ceiling. Now in vanilla Doom and many source ports it's not very visible. However, there are some source ports that highlight such flaws in the map design, and if you're using one of those, this thing would be glowing in red and it will be quite visible. But yeah, it's a small flaw, nothing serious. Most people probably don't even notice it. Well, while we're still in Doom 2, we might as well visit map 30, the Icon of Sin. Well, there are two unusual things in this map. The first one, of course, is Romero's head, which I'm sure everybody knows about. It's here. But the other unusual thing is this mysterious line just sitting here in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, have you seen this one before? And if we now clip over there to the line, just give me a sec, I'm almost there. We can see it, and look at the texture. It's not a texture you see anywhere else on this map. Very weird. It's like a wall just sitting in here in the void. Maybe it's a remnant of something else that they were supposed to make. Like the map was supposed to be bigger and there were other rooms that were subsequently cut from the game. I'm not sure. I've never seen an official explanation about this anomaly here. But it exists, and it's here, even in version 1.9. So it remains to present day and continues to puzzle us. Oh, I can be very absent-minded sometimes. Actually, I wasn't supposed to leave the game. There is one more thing that I would like to show you. This time we're going to the secret levels. Oh yes, welcome to Wolfenstein. This map and the next one are actually recreations of two Wolf 3D levels. This particular one is a recreation of episode 1, level 1 of Wolf 3D. Let me just give myself a little bit of stuff. Now, the first thing you need to know about this map is that the scale is not exactly accurate. The textures used in the Doom 2 version are much bigger than the original ones from Wolf 3D, and that's why everything looks bigger. The room is bigger, this door is much bigger, and also the enemies are quadrupled. So here we see 4 blue guys, whereas in the original level there is only 1 guard. 1 guard turns into 4 in this recreation. Also notice how these cages here are like real 3-dimensional cages. You can now clip into them if you want to, though there isn't much of a reason to do so. Okay, continuing with this map, there's a blur artifact here if you need it. Again, 1 guard turning into 4. Let's use some rockets for extra fun. Now, the ordinary guards are turned into these blue SS guys, but what about dogs? Dogs become pinkies in this version. 1 dog turns into 4 pinkies. Oh, the shotgun is really effective against these guys. It's a pity there is no shotgun in the original Wolf 3D. Here we can see one of the flaws in this map. So yeah, there is 1 dog here, but for some reason there are several pinkies stuck on top of one another. When they placed them onto the map, something went wrong and these two got stuck together. Anyway, that's not why we're here. There's something else I would like to show you. You know, this is actually a pretty accurate recreation of the Wolf 3D level. How accurate exactly? Let me show you. So let's just take care of these pinkies. Wow, 1 survived! Here's this additional secret, which obviously doesn't exist in the original game, since you can't have stairs in there. But here's the interesting thing, there is this lonely health potion here. And watch what happens when you pick it up. It gave me 4% of health, which means that it's actually 4 health potions stacked on top of one another. That's very unusual, don't you think? Why would they put 4 health item, health bonuses stacked on top of one another. That's a very peculiar thing to do. Is there a reason to do this? To find out, we'll actually need to go to the source. And when I say source, what I mean is that we'll go back to the original. We'll be going to Wolfenstein 3D. Oh yes, this will be the first time we visit it in this series. Not sure if the last, but definitely the first. Oh yeah, this screen brings so many memories. So we start a new game, episode 1. Difficulty doesn't matter all that much. Actually, you know what? Let's go all in. Yeah. This I can better demonstrate how quadruple guards become individual actors. So as you can see, everything seems somewhat smaller in here, smaller textures. The door is definitely smaller than the ones we saw in Doom 2. And instead of 4 enemies, there's just 1. And this one is alone as well. So in the Doom 2 versions they become quadrupled. Also these dungeon cells here, they were like real rooms in Doom 2, but here they're just flat textures on the wall. Well, it's a considerably more simple and primitive game. Also no blur artifact here, so if you needed it, sorry. So let's make our way carefully, because the hit scan attacks in this game are pretty deadly. So instead of 4 pinkies, we'll see a dog here. Seriously? Bad dog, bad! And here we approach this area. I need to lose a little bit of health. You'll see why. You know, I think I liked you better when you were pinkies. Anyway, and here is where that mysterious health bonus was. In the original game, it's a dog food pickup. And try to guess how much health a dog food gives you. That's right, 4%. And that's why they put 4 health pickups on top of each other, to recreate this dog food here. Now, do you understand exactly how accurate that recreation of the level is? I'm impressed, honestly I am. Ooh, by the way, I wonder if... Nah, there's nothing here, but hey, I had to check, right? So I think we've covered all of Doom 2 now. Does this mean the video is over? No sir, it doesn't. This is video number 10, which means that we will also be visiting Final Doom. That's right folks, I'll show you some stuff from TNT and Plutonia. Final Doom is, of course, based on Doom 2. In fact, in vanilla Final Doom, the main executable with which you start the game is called Doom2.exe, just like with the regular Doom 2. However, it's not quite the same executable. At the very least, it was updated to recognize TNT.wad and Plutonia.wad as legitimate IWADs. Also, the exe was updated with the level names and the intermission texts for TNT and Plutonia. Curiously, this modified executable also introduced a few bugs of its own. Like, for example, there is a teleporter bug where the z-axis position is not set properly. So, if you enter a teleporter whose destination is below you, you will actually appear in the air above the teleport destination and fall on top of it. And this bug wasn't present in the original Doom 2. It was somehow created in Final Doom. Nobody knows how for sure. The programmers messed up. It happens. It happens. Also, from what I've heard, they changed something about the way the Revenants seekers work, though it's not exactly clear what exactly was changed. What is known is that demos recorded in Final Doom don't quite work correctly in Doom 2 when a Revenant shoots a Seeker missile. That's the only case when they don't work correctly, so something was probably changed there. You should also know that there are two versions of vanilla Final Doom. The original one and an updated one, which until a few years ago was actually pretty obscure and hard to find. It was included in some copies of the ID anthology. Well, actually id anthology, which was a collection of pretty much all of id Software's games, from Commander Keen all the way to Quake. But not all copies. Oh no, some copies of the id anthology had the original Final Doom, while others had the updated one. And there were two major changes in the updated one. First of all, it fixed some map errors. More specifically, it fixed the infamous missing yellow key in TNT MAP31, and also fixed some missing deathmatch starts in several levels of Plutonia. But also the executable itself was updated. It fixed the bugs I mentioned previously, and overall it seems like a considerably more advanced executable. It even fixes some bugs that exist in vanilla Doom 2 1.9. And that's why some people speculate that this executable is mainly based on the source code release of Doom, because the source code release of Doom also fixes some of these bugs, just like this one. So for this demonstration I will be using the newer updated executable. Not that it makes much of a difference, but still that's what we'll be using. And first we'll visit TNT, more specifically MAP31. Of course I won't be showing you the missing yellow key. It's a bug everybody knows about and it's not really interesting to look at, frankly. However, there is one more bug in this level, and if you played it in vanilla, you may remember it from the old days. Let me show you. So we activate this button, this one, we go in here, and as you can see I have a yellow key, which proves that I'm using the fixed version. Because in the original one there's no way to get the yellow key. It's missing because it was incorrectly tagged as a deathmatch only item, so it doesn't appear in single player. Yeah, pretty stupid bug, but it happens. The other bug I'll show you is here. Now these walls are supposed to go down and some shotgunners are supposed to teleport in. But they don't. Why don't they? Do you see that? It looks like a shotgunner who is stuck inside the wall here. And yeah, it's a very peculiar bug where a shotgunner activates prematurely and teleports into this wall, causing the platform to get stuck. And so it can't lower, and the other shotgunners cannot start teleporting as they should. And this normally happens only in vanilla Final Doom, and most source ports fix this error quietly behind the scenes. Can you fix it in vanilla? Well, there is one way. You need to turn on God mode, then no clip, select the rocket launcher because you will need splash damage. Get inside here and kill the shotgunner with splash damage. This will release the platform, and then you just have to awaken the shotgunners and they will come for you. Not that this is much of a reward, but hey, at least it works. And you will get your 100% kills. Do you remember this bug from the vanilla days? Maybe you do. I definitely remember this glitch where the shotgunner appeared in the wall. Anyway, we can also take a look at another very famous and popular Doom map. Mount Pain. Oh yeah, everybody loves this one. But this time we'll talk about something more unusual about this map. Oops, sorry about that. We'll be talking about this weird sign here which says disaster area. Yeah, have you ever wondered about this one? What does it mean? Why does it say disaster area here? Well, I have wondered about this for many years. And a while ago, I don't know, like 5 to 10 years ago, I started getting this peculiar feeling that this disaster area sign seems oddly familiar, like I've seen it somewhere else before. So I started thinking, and eventually I reached The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, I'm not joking, you're probably thinking, what? What does this have to do with Douglas Adams or The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Well, I don't know if you've read the original novel, but there were some adaptations. You might remember the movie from 2005, but before that movie, there was a TV series, a British TV series, which was released in 1981. And there is something from this Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series that seems oddly familiar. So here we see the disaster area logo from the game itself, and this is a suspiciously similar looking logo from the 1981 TV series. Yeah, I know they are not exactly the same, but there is a pretty uncanny resemblance between the two, don't you think? Especially the spacing of the letters, the way they are positioned, it's almost identical. Well, the font is not exactly the same, but the spacing pretty much the same. And well, this is just a personal theory of mine. I cannot confirm it or prove it in any way. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But yeah, I strongly suspect that this disaster area sign in TNT MAP27 is some kind of Easter egg, a reference to the disaster area from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Well, if you ever get in touch with the map's original author, maybe we can ask him, I don't know. But for the time being, this is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So, I guess the only thing that's left is Plutonia. Before I start, I'd just like to mention, since I know TNT Evolution has a bit of a controversial reputation, and some people hate it, some love it, so I should probably mention I'm one of the people who love it actually. Yeah, I have a lot of good memories, childhood memories with Evolution, and with Plutonia as well, but I think I got TNT first. You see, my parents back in the day were really cunning. So they saw Final Duel consists of 2 games, and they gave me TNT on one Christmas and Plutonia on the next Christmas, next year, like 2 consecutive presents. But it's okay. Back in those days, buying games was a bit of a luxury. Those were pretty tough years. So I think it's perfectly okay that they did it like this. If I were in their place, I would have probably done it the same way. Getting the most out of, the game package. So anyway, Plutonia, it's usually left for last because it's the hardest and most challenging of the classic Doom games. So it only makes sense that we do it last, like a final chapter. Now, let's jump into DOSBox. Yeah, like you see, we start the game with the command Doom 2. I mentioned this previously. So in Plutonia, we'll take a look at 2 things. First of all, I'd like to take a look at map 28. So the thing about this map, and it's more of a design flaw actually, is that it has two computer maps. The only other Doom 2 map that has two of these power-ups in the same level is in Doom 2 MAP27, the Monster Condor. And the result is that you cannot pick up both of them. Vanilla Doom doesn't allow you to pick up two auto maps. And as a result of this, you can't get 100% items on this map or in the Monster Condor. And even if you use the computer map cheat ID Behold A, it still won't let you take this one. Now, some source ports address this problem by either allowing you to pick up a second computer map, that's what GZ Doom does as far as I know, or by allowing you to remove the one you've picked up by entering the ID Behold A cheat, after which you can actually pick up the second one. But in vanilla, there's no way to pick it up. Yeah. Now we can go take a look at map 30, the final map of the final classic Doom game. So what's in map 30? Well, there are actually two peculiarities about this map, and both of them can be seen with the IDDT cheat. First of all, this map has a separate deathmatch area. It's the only level in the official classic Doom games that actually has such a separate area. And this is normally a good idea, although there is a little bit of a problem with it. Do you see it? Yep, there are items in it, and because of that you can't get 100% items on this map without cheating. You know, if you're really obsessed with getting the maximum 100% completion, you have to use no-clip to come here to this deathmatch area, get the items, and then return to the actual level to play it normally. But beside this problem, it's a pretty good idea to include this area, because the rest of the level isn't really very suitable for deathmatching. So the Casali brothers were really smart to include this. As for the other peculiarity of this level, no, it's not the fact that John Romero's head appears again, that's obvious, but it's this thing. You see this strange rectangular room that just exists here for seemingly no reason. Very unusual, isn't it? Perhaps we should take a better look at it in the map editor. So when we look at this weird room, we see it contains only one thing, a teleport destination, which is facing south. There's nothing else in this room. And here you can see it as a 3D view. So it's just an empty room with a teleport destination inside, but why? What purpose could this possibly serve? Going back into the game, I will return to the level proper. Well, actually, let's first take a look at this mysterious room. Oops, sorry. So yeah, it's just a big empty room. Why is it here? Well, to find out its purpose, first we have to return to the actual level and take the intended route, which is through here. Okay, I'll get attacked by some archviles, which is never a good thing. Let's just lower the volume a little bit. Okay, so the fight with the Icon of Sin, or Gatekeeper as it's called in this game, begins. Has something changed about this mysterious room? Oh, look at that, it's a crusher now. Do you see it? The whole room suddenly turned into a crusher, and a swole one as well. So what purpose could it possibly serve? Well, let's observe for a while. Sooner or later someone will appear in here. on. Ah, there, an imp appeared and got crushed, so why teleport enemies in here to crush them? Seems pretty illogical and nonsensical. Well, here's the thing, the entrance to the teleport destination of this room is right here. This teleporter that I'm standing right next to is the one that takes you to the crusher room. Now it's a monster on the teleporter, so I can't use it. But what it does is when enemies appear on this ledge, watch, they teleport here and into the crusher room where they get crushed. So weird, isn't it? So what purpose does it serve? Well, for me the most logical explanation is that this is some sort of a cleanup mechanism. It's intended to prevent too many monsters from gathering here on this ledge. So when there are too many enemies here, one of them will just walk into the teleporter, get sent to the crusher room, and thus be eliminated from the game, preventing too much clutter. Another theory, but it's considerably far-fetched, so I don't think it's very plausible, is that the crusher room is a setup for the arch-vile ghost bug. It's a bug where an arch-vile resurrects a crushed monster, crushed in the sense of turned into a blood puddle, and then the resurrected monster becomes into a ghost of sorts, which can walk through walls and is invincible to the player's weapons, except to splash damage from explosions and to melee damage from other demons, such as pinkies. But the chances of this happening are pretty low. Basically, you need an arch-vile to appear on one of these ledges, then teleport into the crusher room and start resurrecting the already crushed monsters. The chance of this happening is very low, but it is possible. I don't know, if someone wants to give it a try and record a video of this happening, I would love to see it, although it will probably take many attempts to get it right. So yeah, this is either a cleanup mechanism or a setup for the arch-vile ghost bug. At any rate, this crusher room exists, and I suppose many of you didn't know about it until today, because normally you don't really have a reason to go no-clipping around the map or checking it with IDDT. Icon of Sin maps are usually short and to the point. There isn't much exploration to be done in them. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about Plutonia for the time being. But in the future, perhaps I can make more videos about Final Doom if I find other interesting stuff to talk about. And so we have reached the end of this recording. This concludes episode 10. I hope it felt special. I know it wasn't perfect. There were some hiccups here and there, but that's how I do stuff. I'm just an amateur. Or maybe I'm not, you know. I could be Dicino with a fake accent. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure there will be more stuff in the future. I already have ideas for some more Doom-related content, but I would also like to branch out a little bit, so maybe I'll do some stuff outside of Doom in the future. I love retro games, especially DOS games, and especially obscure DOS games. So perhaps you can expect to see some stuff like this on the channel in the near future. We'll see. Time will tell. I try to avoid making plans because, you know, life can always surprise you in various ways. So it's better to be prepared for anything and grab opportunities as they appear. Well, folks, that's all from me for the time being. Hope to see you in the future. If you have something interesting to say in the comments, I would love to read it. And yeah, goodbye for now, and until our next meeting.